All right, guys, welcome back to my channel for a second time today. Turns out my audio is just messed up, so I took the stream down and we're going to start over. Unfortunately, we can't stream to X today because apparently X has been hacked. Elon Musk said there was some kind of attack on the X servers from a foreign adversary because people do not like Elon Musk right now because of his support for Trump and his promotion of free speech. We all know that the biggest threat to the liberal world order is free speech. Democrats hate free speech. They don't know how to beat bad ideas. Cloud on now. They don't know how to beat bad ideas with better ideas. So they just want to censor all of us to get rid of us. And today we're going to watch another video from Savannah Craven. She is one of the most important and biggest pro-life voices in the conservative movement. And this Saturday, I will be joining up with her in Miami to film fresh content for you guys. So I wanted to make sure you're familiar with her work before we get together this Saturday. So we're going to start the video right now, and let's have a good time. I apologize for the noise in the background. Claude is playing with one of her toys right now.
So where were my rights in the womb? Do I not get rights till I'm born?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
We're not going back! In New York, you can have an abortion through all 9 months. Do you see anything wrong with that?
Actually, I don't see nothing wrong with that.
I really wanted to be in my video. I don't want to be in your video. Oh, you kept putting your side. Oh, don't touch me. So welcoming to women with a different opinion. It's so interesting. Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch my stuff.
Don't stick your microphone in my face.
You're talking to me. This is a public space.
So right off the bat, this is going to be a spicy video, and Savannah Craven is very, very bold and brave. I got to give a lot of respect for her. If you guys think what I do is brave, this is the next level. So there's me, then there's Savannah Craven. And if you guys want to follow her channel, you can follow her on YouTube at Her Patriot Voice.
How are you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm doing some videos for my independent YouTube channel. Sorry about that.
Okay.
And I noticed your
I'm the most
sign.
attractive person in the crowd. Is that what
You are. You stood out. Your sign really stood
Oh,
out.
you like my sign? Okay.
Yeah, what are we not going back to?
Not going back. I'm in my late 60s, right? So I grew up in a time when we were really second-class citizens, even though it doesn't seem that long ago. We didn't have sports in school. We couldn't own credit cards. Clearly, abortion didn't become legal until after, and slowly but surely, we've clawed our way to a point where we're starting to see the light. And now they want to come, and the new laws around voting are going to make it tough for married women who've changed their names. So there's a lot we have to pay attention to right now.
So that's a false talking point. That's a complete lie. Very, very silly.
They're coming for us, and we're 50% of the population. I mean, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, you mentioned abortion. I mean, I think that's a huge issue. So what is an abortion, and why should we normalize it?
Well, it's not about normalizing. I think the idea is that you don't have to like it or even approve of it per se. The idea is that government should not tell you or me what we can do with our doctors, and you don't have to like it. It can be against what you believe, but because I believe something, I don't think that means that I can tell you what you need to do with your own body. That's it.
Some people say that it's not the woman's body that's like being affected in an abortion, but rather there's another person. Would you say that the person in the, whatever's in the womb, is that a person?
I don't know. I'm not a scientist, right?
Yo, these people are they're so dumb. If it's not a person in the womb, then what is it? What is it?
It's not up for me. I've had 2 children. I'm glad I had 2 children. It was rough. It's hard to do. It's hard on your body. And some women don't do well carrying a a child and maybe she didn't have the choice to become pregnant. We don't know the circumstances under which that may happen. May I ask who you represent?
Yeah, my name is Amber. I'm with Feminist Resist.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, that gets me every time. Feminist resist. What the hell?
yeah.
So, as far as I'm concerned, that's not for me to decide, and I think that there's been a lot of spin around it that maybe isn't coming from gospel per se, but coming from more of an attempt to control women. And we got to wake up and say, this is my body. You don't get to let me die in a parking lot. Or, I know that, my own mother lost a pregnancy in the 60s. Nobody was going to tell her they were going to make her wait. They helped her, and she, didn't die in the 1960s, right? Wasn't even a consideration.
Yeah.
So that's going back before, and they took care of women back then.
Right.
It wasn't even a thought.
Yeah. So, I mean, is just throwing it out. You don't have to be a scientist, but maybe just your opinion. Do you think that a fetus in the womb is alive? Are they human? Just your opinion.
You know what? I can't say. I don't know that because I think that somebody who's going to have a child can have their own opinion about that. But I don't know, can the fetus live outside of a woman's body? Is that what determines it? I can't say. All I know is that I think it's morally and should be legally not the case that we can decide that if you're the victim of rape, incest, or your body is sick, that you can't survive your pregnancy, if that's the case.
Yeah. So let's just talk about.
I understand with grape, we got to apparently not say the R word on YouTube. I understand with grape that it's a very heinous crime and the father should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. But once that innocent child is conceived, why do they get the death penalty? I understand the circumstances of his or her conception were horrible and brutal. I understand that, but that child is innocent. So why does that child get the death penalty? I don't understand that.
Just elective. So say that the woman doesn't want it. Not the ones where they're, going to be in danger.
That's not my business. And are you a feminist for real? Or are you asking me this from a religious thing?
No. This is a human rights perspective that women should have rights from womb to tomb, right?
I like that. Women should have rights from womb to tomb. I never heard that before.
Yeah, I'm one of 5 girls. Like I said, they say.
What about in the womb?
From womb to tomb. I don't even understand that.
Hey, everyone, taking.
How do you not understand from womb to tomb? Yo, these Democrats will do whatever they can to avoid answering.
A break to let you guys know that you subscribing and following me on social media really does support. It allows me to come out here and expose these radical leftists. It lets me hire a cameraman. It lets me get protection if I need to. Some of these events get really, really crazy. So it really means so much to me if you could donate to me and also follow, subscribe, and like and share all of my channels. Thanks. From conception to natural death.
It's not for me to decide. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a theologist. I just know.
They must have gotten that line from that SCOTUS judge, Ketanji Brown Jackson, when they asked her, what is a woman? And her response was, I'm not a biologist. That's the same energy that this woman just gave me right now.
That you as a woman should have, pardon my word, agency over your own body. I know that he as a man has.
Well, don't assume his gender because we're all very, we express different ways here. But yeah, I mean, what if women? I was a woman in the womb.
Yeah.
So where were my rights in the womb? Do I not get rights till I'm born?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
Do you have a daughter?
Do I have a daughter? I have 2 sons.
Okay, well, let's say that one of your sons was a girl and they were a woman in the womb, because you can find out the gender before they're born.
Yeah.
Where were their rights in the womb?
I have no idea. I mean, I think that, you come out, you breathe, and we all, as breathing animals, human beings on this planet, hopefully we all have the same rights as human beings. And part of that is bodily autonomy. And that should be what modern society strives for. So we leave each other alone and we just let each other live and we don't make determination.
Do you hear what you just said? We let each other live. She's so close to getting why we are against killing unborn babies. Let them live. She just said it herself.
For each other. I mean, I'm not thinking about, geez, I carried 2 children, right? I gave birth to 2 children. They came out, they weren't breathing, they got slapped, they got cut for me, and then they breathed, right? That are in some order thereafter. At that
point, through the umbilical cord when they're in the womb.
I'm not going to go there with you, pal. I have no idea, right?
That is actually how babies get oxygen. They actually get it through the umbilical cord. And that umbilical cord provides them all the nutrients they need to grow and develop to a healthy human baby.
I have no idea.
For everybody to live, so then
you're making
that's a pro-life
that you want to make right now.
You said the right to everybody to live. Are you against the death penalty?
I don't know what you're getting at.
Are you against the death penalty?
I don't like the death penalty.
Why?
Because I don't think we get to decide that. When
we don't get to decide, so we shouldn't be able to decide for babies in the womb if they get to live or not, right?
The baby in the womb is not yet born, right?
But they're still babies.
No,
it's a
they're
stage
not
of development.
They're not babies. Have you ever carried a child?
No, but I know what a child is.
So look, you did a really manipulative thing right here. You said you were somebody who you're not.
No, that's how I identify.
You're not. You came here and you tried to manipulate a conversation, and I told you what I thought, and then you tried to turn it. So you can
not consistent.
It's very consistent.
It's not consistent, and Savannah just exposed your complete inconsistency, and yet you still say you're consistent. I mean, these liberals are just... Savannah didn't manipulate anything. This was a consensual interview. This woman manipulated herself. That's what happened here.
Told you who I am. You go with your spin, okay? I don't agree with you, so take your microphone and put it someplace else if you're trying to back people into a corner.
You don't need to touch my stuff. You don't need to touch my stuff. Thank you.
Yeah.
Don't touch my keep talking to her.
Yeah, you need to just get out.
You don't need to tell her.
By the way, I'm looking at this crowd, and I only see one person of color here, which is Savannah Craven. These are all a bunch of white liberals that are trying to silence her voice. It's hilarious to me.
This is a woman's march. I'm a woman.
Yeah, good. That's good.
No, literally, I don't see a single person of color in this crowd. I don't get it. Where's the people of color? Where are they? I'm looking on the screen.
Go and
what is this? Is that a...
Support women. I told you what I thought.
Where are the people of color? I don't see a single person of color here. Which is shocking because it's New York.
Womb to tomb.
Yeah, womb to tomb. Good for you.
Thank you.
You go do your spin and cut your tape and make anything.
We're going to play the whole thing.
Yeah, okay, good. And I hope you go ahead and further your agenda wherever you go. But if
you said that you don't believe in the death penalty because you don't think when we should decide when people should live or not.
You can twist it any way you want, but abortion is not the death penalty. It saves lives.
It's putting someone to death without their consent.
Well, that's your determination. Are you a scientist?
That's not our determination. That is literally what happens. Abortion terminates the life of a human who just happens to be in a sometimes very early developmental stage. Sometimes older, sometimes when they're post-viability. But no matter what, any rational person knows that abortion terminates a human life. Doesn't matter how little cells, it is still the foundation of a human life, and it is therefore a human life.
Do I need to be a scientist to know what the death penalty is? Know what abortion is?
Scientists to know whether it's the death penalty or not. I suggest you get your microphone out of my face and go spin your lies someplace
You
else.
can walk away. I mean, this is a public space.
Yeah,
so.
no, you can walk away, and I've asked you to.
Okay.
Go spin your agenda to somebody else who doesn't like freedom.
It's not an agenda.
It is an agenda, girl.
It's just facts.
Yeah.
You just proved me right.
Are you a scientist or a doctor?
Do I have to be a scientist to know what abortion is?
Yeah, it's not about that. Just get your microphone out of my face and go spin your agenda.
Walk away.
Here they go with the signs, trying to block the camera. I told you, that's one of their strategies. The second one is to hold their mic, to hold their iPhone playing music in front of your camera to try to get you demonetized. And the third one is to then look at the camera and say, I don't consent to you posting this anywhere. I will sue you.
You want to see my sign? Hi. How are you?
Fine, thanks. You?
Good. What brings you out here today?
So I'm actually from Italy, so I'm visiting here. Yes, I'm far from my country, so there. Oh. Going back.
We're not going back. What are we not going back to?
To all the fights and like the past years in which women didn't have any rights, or I'm taking, and which now we are trying to go and like live a life of like equity, equality with all the people, and everything is threatening this. Everything. This government today for your country, in my country too, there's a real threat, and it's rising in the entire Europe, and it's.
Yeah, Italy has, I believe her name is Meloni. She's also a very based conservative, and that's what the girl's referring to.
For women, it's for all the kind of migrants, all the kind of people, everyone, not for.
I keep hearing that all these rights have been taken away, but I don't know. Like, tell me what rights have been taken away from women.
Okay, so actually, when you talk about rights, like legally, you cannot, like, they're not being taken away, but they are threatening them. And in your country, in many states, the right of abortion is illegal in 12 states. So I think that's a right, and it's not an obligation for anyone. So if you have a right, you have the choice, and you can decide. And if a right is denied, you cannot decide. So
how is it a right to have an abortion?
Actually, I think it's really easy to answer. But the right is something that it's something that can guarantee a decision. Okay, so if you're here, like every person in this place is fighting for this for a reason, maybe.
I think I'm fighting for something a little bit different than what you guys are fighting for. Yeah, so I know that science says that life begins at conception. That's what scientists say. And I believe science. So I'm marching for women in the womb and also women outside of the womb. Because there are women in the womb as well.
Actually, I think that if you say you believe in science and you promote a message that says that you're out, when a woman starts with the conception, there is nothing it's like a fetus. So I don't think. Yeah, and you think
what's a fetus? What is the definition of a fetus?
So actually, it's a group of molecules and of cells that creates in your body. And actually, it's so weird because you can start. So there are rules, and after you cannot have an abortion after time. Okay, in which the science defines that these cells can be considered like a human being. So the right of abortion is.
We're talking about science.
But
I'm not talking about religion. She mentioned religion, but we're talking about science. Science says that.
Yeah, that's the one thing about liberals. Whenever you're a pro-life person, they assume that it's a religious you have religious beliefs. And I'm the perfect example. I never read the Bible. I don't know what the Bible says, to be honest. I never read it. I've heard quotes because I'm a Republican and a lot of Republicans are Christian, so I heard some quotes in my time. But I never talk about religion when it comes to why I'm pro-life. My being pro-life has nothing to do with religion. It really is scientific, acknowledging when life starts, which is at conception. It is the fact that I'm adopted. I was given the chance of life, right? And then it's also my own existence. Just when I think about my life, right? Even though I've been dealt a shitty hand with this kidney failure, there are so many things that I've got to experience on this planet that even if my life was cut short, even if I have a disease, which I do, my life is still worth living, right? Like waking up and having a cup of coffee in the morning. That's one of the most enjoyable parts of my day. That I think almost any human, no matter their circumstances, can appreciate that. Or how about listening to a song you love, right? It's like these little moments, or getting a hug from your dog, right? It's like these little moments are what make life worth living. And I think that anybody who is conceived deserves to have those experiences. So once again, for me, it's science, the fact that I was adopted, and third, my own existence and experiences that make me completely pro-life.
When the sperm and egg unite, they cease to exist on their own. They're now a separate entity with their own chromosomes, their own DNA.
Yeah.
And so that's we call them an embryo.
Not a right to abortion.
Yeah, well, I don't think healthcare should kill people.
Your doctor need to make that decision.
You're not killing people with abortion.
You are. So you're making sure that they are, because they're humans. You're making sure that the baby is no longer alive, right?
The humans are the mother that, like, you don't know any situation. If you deny a right that can save or can preserve a woman that has,
the ones where, if she needs miscarriage management or ectopic pregnancy removal, I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about where the woman goes in and she's like, I don't want this baby.
Okay, but it's
because that's not an abortion.
right. It's a decision. If you do it, if you do it in the time that the science defines that you can do that, because you have the right to do that.
So the science does not define when an abortion is allowed. It's morality. That's what decides when you can have an abortion. It's not science, because science would say never. It's a life at conception. But it's the human morality that said, 6 weeks is a good cutoff. 12 weeks is a good cutoff. Viability is a good cutoff. In the womb is a good cutoff. It's morality, not science.
And is not denied, you should do that, and you have to have the possibility to do that. A state, a government cannot deny that. It's not possible. And even if the law and everything gives like the opportunity, it's been taken off, because if you come in a place and you go in the hospitals and you promote life and stuff, you're going against the right.
Would you support any restrictions on abortion throughout pregnancy?
Throughout
would you say that abortions in like the 8th, 9th month are okay, or would you set like a...
No, that is not possible, actually.
It is possible. It happens actually. 1% of abortions. So in America, we have over 1 million abortions a year. So that equates for over 13,000 late-term abortions. This is great background. Thank you all so much.
Okay. No, I think it's the 1%. So you have to consider. Okay.
It's still happening. So let's talk about it.
I don't know these data, so I trust you on these data, and I don't think it's not gonna have to happen. But you can actually, it's really that becomes really dangerous. Like if you're a doctor, and both of us, we're not a doctor, and we're not we don't know this kind of things, so you cannot say. But there are many high risks. But the science and the medicine also say that if you do it between the time that you can do that, there are no risks, and you're not killing people. So if you have the right of abortion, you should be inside that time, and there are laws, and you cannot, and they're not 5 weeks. So as in many states, because that is, you can do it even more, and after between 3 and 1 and 3 months and stuff. So there are rules.
In New York, you can have an abortion through all 9 months. Do you see anything wrong with that?
Actually, I don't see nothing wrong with that, but I don't.
This whole leftism thing has gone global, because obviously this girl's from Italy, and she just said she sees no issue aborting a 9-month child. I don't think there's a question whether a 9-month in the womb can feel pain, can know what's happening to it in terms of its body will fight against the forceps, because at that point the only way to get the baby out is to pull it apart limb by limb. And I actually have an Instagram follower. I'm a little hazy on the details. I need to just reread our text messages, but I believe that she was a botched abortion and survived, and I believe that she is disabled today because the abortion failed. So it's tough to reason with someone who was just yeah, you can kill a 9-month, no problem, there's nothing wrong with that. It's literally what you just said. And what's even more disappointing is this young woman on the left here, she looks I don't know, maybe 25, right, in her mid-20s. She's a decent looking woman. But her insides are so ugly that if I wanted to take her on a date, knowing that she would have no problem killing my own child, it's automatically like, you're out.
No, actually, the real risks and consequences if a woman decides to have an abortion on the 8 months.
Yeah, it's really risky because
I know
the woman has to literally give birth to a dead baby, and her baby also dies.
If she's a woman and she has the right, she can decide that she can take her own risk, and she can say, okay, I'm having an abortion in 8 months as I'm having an abortion in 1 month, and she can decide, and she has the right. So I think it's better to have that right, and then to go in a state like, I don't know, Texas, and you have the right, and you cannot decide.
Well, Texas is actually caring about women because they're saying, no, you can't kill women while they're in the womb. They have the protection because in our Constitution, it's written the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. There's no right to abortion in our Constitution.
Okay, so I don't know your Constitution. Unfortunately, I have to study more. But what? No, there's no right of Constitution in your. There's no right of abortion in your Constitution. Okay.
We have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And babies in the womb are alive, so that should include them too. They should get the right to life.
Yo, Savannah just roasted this girl right here. And even look at the girl's reaction. She looks like she got stunned. She didn't even know what to say. Savannah, if you watch this, I hope you take that as a clip, zoom in on her face, and slow it down because she looked lost there.
I cannot answer.
Well, I love Italy. I used to live there when I was younger, and I pray that they do not follow in our footsteps. Unfortunately, Europe is really following in America's footsteps, and it's unfortunate. But yeah.
Okay, but I think if you come here, like, and you see all of these people fight for something, is okay. I think right of abortion. So we have a different idea, okay? And I had said this thing, and there's nothing bad. I think right of abortion should be protected and included, like in the Constitution and stuff. For example, in Italian Constitution, we have the right of abortion, but and we have the right of abortion so the women can abort and go in the hospitals and abort. But actually, with the new government, with our prime minister, this right is being threatened.
Yeah, as Venthrill said, there's so much that I could see myself, interested in this woman. She's an attractive woman. She's got the accent. She's not from America, which I kind of like. I like foreign women. It is what it is. Some guys like foreign women. Some guys like domestic women. I do like both foreign and domestic, to be clear. But I like foreign women. I've traveled all around the world, so I like when it's a different culture because I want to have international biracial babies. That's just a personal preference. But yeah, her worldview is completely warped, and that automatically is a red flag. It's beyond a red flag. It's a deal breaker.
Because there are many pro-life associations, so people that promote life like you.
What's wrong with promoting life?
People that promote life like you. You hear that? As if it's like a bad thing to promote life. That's crazy.
That doesn't sound negative to me.
No, nothing sounds negative of like promoting life. But if you go and like promoting,
that's the smartest thing she just said this entire conversation. There's nothing negative about promoting life. That is, guys, can we give her a standing ovation?
life, if you say that promoting life, of course, is good. But if you take like these associations and these organizations as like promoting life in this context, so that go against a right for women, is not a right place to promote life. You can promote life by reducing the killing people, killing minorities, by doing many other things, and not like.
That's a good point. So, black women are only 9% of our population here in America, yet they're sold 34% of abortions. So it is more likely for a black baby, so a minority, as you mentioned, to be aborted in New York City than be born. Do you see?
So that actually is completely true. I don't remember the numbers at the top of my head. However, I know that when it comes to black women in New York City, they are more likely to abort their child than give birth. So when a black baby is conceived in a black mother's womb, that baby has like a 58% chance of being killed. 58% chance. It only has like a 42% chance of being born in the stomach of a black woman in New York City. I remember when I heard that stat for the first time, I looked it up and I was like, there's no way that a black child has a worse chance than 50-50. My mind was like, worst case scenario would be like 50, a coin flip. No. In New York, it's worse than a coin flip. it would be like the most rigged casino game. Can you imagine going to a casino and the casino just tells you straight up, we have this game, but there's only a 40% chance that you're going to win and a 60% chance you're going to lose. Would you play that game? Probably not. So when you think about it that way, that's just heartbreaking. That's genocide, in my opinion.
See anything wrong with that?
So I think I can.
So we should just kill their babies?
No, their babies are dying because they get terrible health care.
So we should kill black babies. We should kill black babies because their moms can't get good health care?
What are these liberals doing, like wooing? Why are they wooing in the middle of this conversation?
Can I ask you,
Wow.
are you happy with the new government, like for the new president in your country?
Am I happy for the new president? Well, I'm happier than what the alternative was going to be. But
Why?
Trump is still very pro-choice. He's made that very clear, and he's just not strong enough on the life issue for me.
Yeah, Donald Trump is not conservative when it comes to abortion. Now, he did help the pro-life movement by returning it back to the states and allowing pro-life states to enforce and create pro-life policies. But Donald Trump himself believes in the three exceptions. He's said many times abortion's bad. He doesn't like it, but he still believes in the exceptions, which is life of the mother, incest, fetal abnormalities, and I think rape as well. Donald Trump is a Democrat 30 years ago. That's what he is. Now, I'll be honest, I don't think that Trump is strong enough with the abortion either. That's probably one of the few places I'd give him a little bit of feedback and be like, I'm going to critique that. But he also knew that if he made abortion the leading issue or pushed for abortion bans, he would not have won the 2024 election. Even though Democrats were lying to their audience and saying Trump's going to push for an abortion ban, any Democrat that actually did research would have quickly found out that that's completely not true. That was never part of his agenda. So Trump's kind of in a really shitty situation. If he goes too hard on the pro-life, we wouldn't have won in 2024. So I get what he's doing and I get where he's coming from. And I still think that he's much better than anyone who's pro-abortion. So that's my view on that.
Okay, but why do you think it would have been better, like against Kamala, for example? Why?
Because Trump promotes strong borders. I want to protect Americans, and my husband is an immigrant. I paid thousands of dollars for him to come here. I want people to come here legally and do it the right way. I don't want people, bringing drugs and.
He's going against also people that came here legally.
No, he's only targeting people that have come here illegally and have committed heinous crimes, like Laken Riley's killer. Do you know who Laken Riley is?
No.
Yeah, she was a young woman, 22 years old. She went to University of Georgia, and she was brutally murdered by an illegal immigrant.
Okay. Do you know that Trump made the obligation to to clear the Black Lives Matter?
Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization, so I don't have any problem with that.
No, it's not.
They burned down our cities. I know you weren't here for that, maybe, but they burned down our cities.
Trump supporter attacked the White House, so that was a terrorist attack, and now they're all free.
And I'm not saying that going into the White House and ruining things was the smartest thing as well, but I mean that is our property.
Prison, and they should be
should the people who burn down cities and in the name of Black Lives Matter be in prison?
I'm not saying that violence is not the right choice anytime. So that's why all these people
why have we not rounded up all the people that were burning down Arby's and going into these fast food joints and burning them down? Why aren't they in jail?
No. I'm saying that violence is not. But I think that the problem of Trump is that he's the representation of violence in everything.
So that's what the media wants you to think. But why? I mean, I'm still not seeing that.
You're not.
Why would someone who believes in Black lives and cares about Black lives? Why would he permanently fund HBCUs? Do you know what HBCU is?
Yeah, but I have to say, if we have a really different. I'm not American, so I'm really concerned about these elections, and I'm not.
She's not American, but these people are still affected by Western feminism and Western propaganda. That's all this is our culture. American culture is so dominant globally. I don't think a lot of you guys understand. I'll give you an example. When I lived in Thailand, I heard American songs at the bars, the clubs, restaurants all the time. How often in America do you hear a Thai song in Thai? Or a Vietnamese song in Vietnamese? Or a Japanese song in Japanese? How often does that happen? Almost never does. Now, one of those rappers, Megan Thee Stallion, she did do a song that went viral on TikTok with a Japanese artist. He did his verse in Japanese, but it was still an American artist with an American song with most of the song in English. So we are the most, and then look at Hollywood blockbusters. Do you think, unless you go searching for it, a Thai blockbuster is ever going to be played in our movie theaters here? It doesn't happen. But how often does Infinity War and Marvel Endgame play in theaters all around the world? When I lived in Mexico, when I lived in Thailand, I would see all these movies abroad. And I'd get to see them in English because they would have English theaters. That's how dominant we are as a culture. So even though this girl's Italy and she wants to play the I'm Italian card, I don't know what's going on here. They are affected by Western ideology.
American. So I think if you're an American woman, you should be really, really concerned too. So
I am very concerned, yeah.
Yeah, you're very concerned, but not for your president. And all of these people are here to protest also against this president, this new government. And it's really sad to hear, like, after the abortion and stuff, that I really believe in the right of abortion, and I have it in my country. So
What happens in an abortion?
I'm here to fight, like, for those women. Yeah,
What happens in an abortion? If you support it, what happens in an abortion?
What happens in an abortion? Like in which way?
What happens when you're aborting, when you're getting an abortion?
What happens when if you decide to abort is because you have reason?
Not why. What happens when you're going in and getting an abortion? What is going to happen?
Actually, that you lose your, that you lose.
Even the wording, you lose your child. No. You lose your child in a miscarriage. That's when you lose your child. You don't lose your child in an abortion. You're purposely killing it. Like, let's say I were to take my wallet out of my pocket. I don't even have my wallet. I don't know. It's probably behind me. Yeah, it's on the table behind me. Let's say I took my wallet and I go to a shredding machine and I purposely shred the wallet. Would I say, oh, I lost my wallet? No, I'd say I destroyed my wallet. Now, if I go out today and my pocket's open and my wallet falls out, which I hope it doesn't happen today, that's when you go, oops, I lost my wallet. It was accidental. It was a mistake. So, again, I'm going to give this woman the smallest bit of courtesy because she is an Italian who may not be using the words correctly, but I don't think that applies here. I think she's using the word the way that she intends to use it.
Cells that were exactly
The baby.
No, it's not a baby.
What
it's
is
not a baby. It's an amount of cells that is not real.
You are an amount of cells.
Yeah, okay, but it's not you cannot define it like a. Yeah, you're right. Stop. I'm done. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
She realized she can't
Your
win.
body, your choice. You really wanted to be in my video.
I don't want to be in your
Oh, you kept putting your side. Oh, don't touch me.
Goodbye. Goodbye. So long. Everything well.
So welcoming to women with a different opinion. It's so interesting. Oh, I thought this was a women's march. I'm not in the wrong place.
Then you don't come here with honesty, and you just come.
I am honest.
Yeah, no, you came here to trick and deceive people. So
Because you don't line up. Your thought process doesn't line up.
Oh, blah. Here,
Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch my stuff.
Don't stick your microphone in my face.
You're talking to me. This is a public space.
Wow, that's a fantastic video by Savannah Craven. If you guys want to follow her channel, it's going to be at Her Patriot Voice on YouTube. So definitely, if you enjoyed this video, if you like watching me react to it, you like seeing Savannah, get in these people's faces and drop a little bit of logic and knowledge on them, definitely make sure you're subscribed to both of our channels. And for those of you who have not had a chance to watch my latest video, that just dropped a few hours ago today. And let me tell you guys, that video, I don't know what happened to YouTube, but they must have done something to my account because they have unlocked my account in the past week or so, or in the past couple of weeks. I have had a video from the Strawberry Festival, that had 500,000 views. I had a video from the protest this week, 500,000 views. And my video today, which has only been up for how many hours? Let me see. About 4 hours. It's been about 4 hours. It's already got 25,000 views, which is outpacing the two videos I just mentioned that each have 500,000 views. So I don't know, but this video could be my first million view video. I'm looking at the analytics and it's going to hit 100K views before I go to sleep tonight. And then I'm going to wake up and it's probably going to be at like 250,000 tomorrow morning, which is insane. Like, for the last 4 years before Trump won, I was lucky if a video broke 5K views for my channel. They were clearly suppressing me for 4 years. Because my editing got a little bit better, but the quality of my content's always been like this. So I know it's not just like, oh, wow, Adam, you magically cracked the code and you magically just started. But no, my content from 2021, when Trump lost, and I was still waving Trump flags, and I was going around asking people questions, it was just as good as it is now. Now, I will say the one element that's changed is the people weren't as triggered in 2021 because they had just won, so they kind of relaxed a little bit. So that could be the element, is I'm getting more triggered people again. But as far as the quality of my content, the audio, the videos, the music, my content's been like this for 4 years. And it just feels really good now to be getting acknowledgement and recognition from the YouTube algorithm for the first time since I started my channel 4 years ago. For the first 2 months, I had amazing growth. Trump lost. They shut my channel down for 4 years. It was crazy. So it feels good to be back. We're growing quickly now. We're already at 125,000 subs, I think. Are we there? Let me see, dashboard. 125. We're going to be at 126 within the next hour, probably. About next hour, we'll be at 126K. And 150K is going to happen within the month based on my trends and growth. So I was hoping to get to 250,000 by next election. There's a good chance we're going to do it this year. 250,000 subs this year, which is so crazy to me. Because for 4 years, I was just like some small YouTuber, like not growing. And I gotta admit, it feels really good, guys. It feels really good. It's like, for the first 4 years, I was never monetized. I mean, I was monetized, but I wasn't getting significant money at all. Like, almost zero. Now that I'm starting to get views, you know, obviously monetization is going to increase the income based on views. So it's just like, I never did this for the money because I was always all about the mission and standing up for what I thought was right. But I could do more of it with better quality, more collaborations, etc., with income justifying those expenses, which is why I can go to Miami this weekend to meet Savannah. Hotels there are not that cheap. However, I did find a hotel for like $140 a night. But again, I could not have afforded that 6 months ago. You know, that would have put me in the red. But now I can invest some of the YouTube earnings into going to Miami for a weekend, which, you know, Miami's very pricey. So, you know, we're going to bring some good content for you guys all across Florida, hopefully, in the next couple months. And we got some brand new flags that are in the mail that will be coming to me soon. And we're going to be waving some brand new Trump flags for you guys. Now, one of my commenters earlier said that they're in Miami. Please email me, PatrioticPapi@gmail.com. We'll be out there. I'll be with Savannah next week. And we're going to troll some libs. And it should be a really good time. And we're going to spread a pro-life message. I think we're probably going to focus on pro-life. And then what's cool is, what I just thought about this now, actually. I think I'm going to have Savannah be the host of my channel for that episode. I mean, I'll be in it with her, of course, but I want her to be the host. Like, she's going to be the one going to people on the street, because I think she's got a cameraman with her. And we could talk about pro-life, and we can bring up adoption. Shouldn't babies be adopted, not aborted? and they're going to give their typical talking points. But the adoption industry is so complicated. The adoption industry is so blah blah blah, and that's when I can go. So I'm a child that wasn't aborted, but instead I was adopted, and I had a great life in America. And I think that'll be a really good place to put them on the spot and see how they react. So maybe that's what we're going to do next week, and should be fun. But anyway, guys, I got one more video coming for you guys on Wednesday. It's already filmed, already edited. We're going to slow things down a notch for that video. I went out to eat with an Indian couple, and it was a really fun video to film. I actually really enjoyed doing this kind of content. So not a protest, not triggering liberals. It's just a nice sit-down meal with some great conversation and some great food. And that video is going to come out on Wednesday. I think you guys are going to really like it. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching my live stream today. Go watch my new video I posted. And as always, God bless Trump.